Ladies and gentlemen, there is something sacred about the woman who has suffered in silence. She is not forgotten. She is not overlooked. Heaven has been watching her. You may see her walking quietly, but God sees her rising. She may be invisible to people, but she is fully visible in the courts of heaven. When a woman suffers silently, yet remains faithful, she becomes a magnet for divine attention. God is not unjust. He remembers every tear she never showed, every battle she never mentioned, and every night she cried herself to sleep and still woke up with strength. You see, when God is preparing to bless a woman, he first trains her spirit. He hides her. He separates her. He allows her to walk through seasons where her only companion is the Holy Spirit. Not because he has abandoned her, but because he's setting her apart. And the silence she endures becomes the soil for her greatest strength. In that place, she learns not to depend on applause, but on alignment. She learns that purpose is not proven in noise, but in stillness. The woman who prays when no one is watching is the woman God will promote when everyone is watching. She has learned to stand when others would fall. She has learned to worship with complain. And when life broke her, she didn't run, she bowed. That's the kind of woman God is about to lift. She may have lost everything people use to measure success, but she never lost her faith. And in the kingdom of God, faith is the currency of promotion. Faith is the womb of breakthrough. Faith is what qualifies you when man disqualifies you. Her peace in the storm is not weakness, it's warfare. It's her refusing to allow life's chaos to touch her identity. When others cursed her, she blessed them. When they ignored her pain, she loved them anyway. This is not ordinary. This is royalty in disguise. This is the sign of a woman about to be crowned by God himself. For promotion does not come from the east or the west, but from the Lord. And when God exalts you, no man can demote you. The moment a woman outgrows the spaces that once held her down, heaven starts arranging a table for her in the presence of those who thought she'd never rise. She no longer fits in the labels they gave her. Her vision is too big for small minds. Her spirit is too awakened to remain in dead places. That's a sign. That's proof. She is shifting. She is transitioning. She is about to step into what was always hers, her destiny. And now she no longer moves by opinion. She moves by instruction. She no longer craves validation. She walks in revelation. She doesn't echo the world, she reflects the kingdom. This woman is dangerous to darkness. She is ready, not because the world says so, but because God says so. Her silence was never weakness, it was preparation. Her suffering was never punishment, it was positioning. God is about to bless her not just because she asked, but because she endured, because she trusted, because she stayed, and because she believed when she had every reason to give up. Her blessing is not coming. It has already been commanded. The heavens are responding. The earth is shifting. The doors are opening. The silence is breaking. When a woman is left alone, not by choice, but by circumstance, something divine begins to happen deep within her. Solitude becomes her classroom and silence becomes her teacher. In the quiet, where there are no distractions, no applause, and no validation, she meets the truest version of herself. The noise of the world fades and the voice of God becomes clearer. She begins to hear not what others say about her, but what heaven has already declared over her life. The isolation that once felt like punishment turns into a sacred place of transformation. She starts to see that strength is not always forged in battlefields full of people. It is often formed in the secret places no one sees. As she sits in solitude, she faces her pain, her fears, her past. And instead of running from it, she confronts it with faith. She begins to understand that being alone doesn't mean being abandoned. It means being set apart. God is stripping her of the crutches she leaned on, the voices she depended on, and the false comforts that distracted her from purpose. She learns how to encourage herself when no one else will. She learns how to pray, not because someone told her to, but because her survival depends on it. Her faith grows not in crowds, but in caves. In that place, her identity is no longer tied to what she does, who she's with, or what she has. It becomes rooted in who God says she is, Through solitude, she doesn't become bitter, she becomes better. She doesn't become hard, she becomes whole. She discovers that her worth was never in people's presence, but in God's promise. The woman who develops strength in solitude is not weak, she is becoming unstoppable. A woman who prays more than she complains has already begun her journey into divine maturity. Life may press her on every side, but she has chosen a higher response. She has learned that complaints may express frustration, but prayer changes outcomes. She understands that venting to people can only go so far, but kneeling before God can open doors no man can shut. Her circumstances may not always make sense, but instead of asking why me, she begins to say, Lord, lead me. This shift in posture is not natural, it is spiritual. It means her spirit has decided to trust even when her soul is weary. It means she is choosing intercession over irritation. Every time she could have spoken defeat, she chose to speak with the Creator. Every moment she could have poured out bitterness, she poured out worship instead. She may have been misunderstood, overlooked, or even betrayed, but rather than using her voice to spread pain, she uses it to seek power. She knows the secret prayer doesn't just change things, prayer changes her. It refines her responses. It guards her heart. It strengthens her mind. It builds her endurance. When others break down, she bows down. That's why she's still standing. The enemy cannot defeat a woman who refuses to stop praying. Her power isn't in her personality, it's in her posture. It's not about how loud she shouts, but how deeply she trusts. She talks less to people who cannot help her and more to the God who holds her life in his hands. That's why she's dangerous. That's why she's rising. Because heaven hears her before anyone else does. Her silence before man becomes thunder before God. She's not weak for being quiet. She is wise for choosing prayer over complaint. A woman who has lost much but never lost her faith carries a strength that cannot be explained in natural terms. Life has stripped her, wounded her, and taken from her what she thought she could never live without. She's lost friendships she thought were forever, relationships she poured herself into, opportunities she prayed for, and seasons she never wanted to end. Yet through it all, her heart still beats with hope. Her hands are still lifted in worship. Her lips still speak the promises of God. This is not because she has not suffered, it is because she chose not to surrender to her suffering. Faith for her is not a concept, it is survival. It is the thread that held her when everything else unraveled. While others saw loss as a reason to walk away from God, she saw it as a reason to draw closer. She refused to allow her circumstances to redefine her belief. Her pain did not rewrite her theology. Instead, it deepened it. She began to understand that what she lost was never greater than the one she still has. And what she still has is a God who does not fail. Her faith is not based on what she sees, but on what she knows God is faithful. Even when the doors closed, she believed another would open. Even when people walked away, she trusted that God would remain. She wept, yes. She questioned, yes. But she never quit. That kind of faith cannot be faked. It is born in fire, tested by storms, and proven in silence. When a woman has lost much but refuses to let go of her faith, she qualifies for restoration. Because heaven always returns what was lost, pressed down, shaken together, and running over to the woman who kept believing when there was no reason left to believe. There is a rare kind of woman who carries peace while everything around her is falling apart. It's not because life has been kind to her, it's because she has learned to anchor herself in something greater than the chaos. Her peace is not the absence of storms, it is the presence of God in the middle of them. While others panic, she prays. While others react, she responds with stillness. This kind of peace is not natural, it's supernatural. It's the evidence of a woman who has learned to trust in the sovereignty of God more than the instability of circumstances. She's walked through fires that should have consumed her, yet she emerged without the smell of smoke. She's endured betrayals that could have made her bitter, but she chose wholeness over hatred. Her peace is not denial, it is divine clarity. She knows who fights for her. She knows who holds her future. That's why she doesn't have to defend herself or prove herself. The battles that were designed to break her only reveal the depth of her inner stillness. Her calm is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the fruit of someone who has surrendered control and embraced trust. Even when everything is uncertain, she walks like she knows the outcome. And she does. She knows that all things are working together for her good. That's why she doesn't need to explain her peace. It is her secret weapon. It guards her heart. It shields her mind. And it disarms the enemy. The chaos doesn't disturb her because it doesn't define her. She has built her house on the rock, not the sand. And when the winds blow and the floods rise, she remains rooted, unshaken, and full of peace that surpasses all understanding. A woman who honors others even when she is dishonored reveals the depth of her character and the height of her calling. She does not treat people based on how they treat her. She responds based on who she is. Her honor is not a reflection of their worthiness, but of her identity in the kingdom. When others belittle her, she does not retaliate. When they overlook her, she still sees their value. That kind of grace cannot be taught by culture. It is cultivated by the Spirit. It is a sign that she is not ruled by emotion, but by conviction. To honor others while being dishonored is one of the clearest signs that a woman has been with God. She understands that honor is not agreement, it's alignment. It's choosing to stay in right standing with God even when others are wrong. She knows that revenge is not hers, it belongs to the Lord. So instead of responding with pride, she responds with power. Quiet power. Holy power. Power that chooses dignity over drama, restraint over reaction. She doesn't let offense become her language. She refuses to let bitterness take root in her heart because she knows that dishonor is a test heaven checking to see if she's ready for more, and she will not fail. She has learned that the path to promotion is often paved with humility. She has learned that real elevation comes when you stay low in posture but high in purpose. When she chooses honor, she disarms the schemes of the enemy. When she chooses respect, even when others give her none, she steps into a realm of spiritual authority that cannot be faked. That's why God can trust her with influence, because she knows how to stay pure when she's provoked. She's not reacting, she's reigning. There comes a moment in the life of a woman when the space that once felt comfortable begins to feel confining. It is not because she has changed for the worse, but because she is evolving for the better. What once shaped her no longer fits her. The conversations, the relationships, the places that once affirmed her now feel foreign. She is outgrowing the environments that once defined her. This is not rebellion, it is revelation. She is waking up to who she truly is, and in doing so, she can no longer remain where she no longer belongs. Growth demands separation. And sometimes God will allow discomfort not to punish her, but to push her. He will disturb her familiar surroundings to activate her deeper calling. She starts to see that her identity is not tied to where she's been, but to where she's going. She stops shrinking herself to be accepted. She stops apologizing for wanting more. She stops settling for what is easy and starts pursuing what is eternal. This woman begins to dream again, not safe dreams, but divine ones. She stops allowing her environment to dictate her value. She understands that staying small to make others comfortable is not humility, it's disobedience. Her purpose is calling, and she can no longer silence it just to fit in. The walls around her become too tight, not because they changed, but because she grew. Her mindset has expanded. Her discernment has sharpened. Her spirit has matured. And as she walks away from what once defined her, she's not leaving in pride, she is leaving in purpose. She is being led not by ambition, but by assignment. She is no longer afraid of the unknown because she knows who goes before her. She is not running from something, she is rising into everything God has destined her to become. A woman who hears God's voice louder than public opinion has reached a place of rare spiritual authority. She is no longer tossed back and forth by the changing winds of people's expectations. Her confidence no longer comes from applause or agreement, it comes from alignment. She has trained her spirit to recognize the whisper of heaven above the noise of the crowd. While others seek validation from the world, she seeks revelation from the Word. And because she listens to God more than she listens to man, she walks in a level of clarity that others cannot understand. She knows that following God will often look foolish to people who don't know her assignment. And yet she moves anyway. She obeys anyway. She builds what others said would fail. She pursues what others mocked. She believes what others abandoned. Not because it makes sense in the natural, but because she heard something in the spirit. Her life is not led by popularity, it's guided by purpose. She does not need consensus to be confident. She needs only the voice of the one who called her. This woman has been delivered from the need to be liked. That is why she is free. Free to be bold, free to be obedient, free to walk past that others fear. Public opinion no longer moves her because God's voice has become her compass. She would rather be misunderstood by people than be misaligned with heaven. That's why she walks with quiet strength, because she knows she is in step with eternity. Her ears are tuned to a higher frequency. And because she listens differently, she lives differently. She doesn't echo the crowd, she carries the sound of the kingdom. The noise may surround her, but it never confuses her. She knows who she is. She knows who sent her. And she knows what she's called to do. To every woman who has suffered in silence, heaven has not overlooked you. Your tears have been counted. Your prayers have been heard. Your battles fought in secret have echoed loudly in the courts of God. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are being prepared. What you thought was the end was really the beginning of something far greater. The fire was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to refine you. And now, because you did not give up, because you held on to your faith, because you chose prayer over bitterness, honor over revenge, purpose over comfort, God is about to bless you in a way that will silence every doubt, reverse every loss, and redeem every season. You are not coming out of this empty, you are coming out established. What you built in the dark will be rewarded in the light. The peace you protected, the strength you cultivated, the obedience you chose in isolation, it was all seen by the God who rewards in due season. And your season is now. You are not just a woman who survived, you are a woman who is about to soar. Not because of what people say, but because of what God has declared. So walk boldly, speak wisely, love freely, and rise fearlessly. Because when a woman who has suffered in silence is chosen to be blessed, nothing on earth can stop what heaven has already released. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you have joined me today. And I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. Let us explore something profound today. The heart of a man and the silent pull that draws him closer to you. There is no mystery as captivating as the dynamics of human connection. And when a man falls for a woman, it's not by accident or convenience. It's by the irresistible qualities she embodies. The first thing that captures his heart is authenticity. There's a beauty in being true to yourself, unashamed of your strengths or imperfections. When a woman carries herself with authenticity, she becomes unforgettable. A man falls for the essence of who you are, not the image you project. Self-respect is another cornerstone. Men are drawn to women who carry themselves with dignity, who know their worth, and who never compromise their values for approval. Your boundaries don't repel him, they attract him. They show him that you are someone worth cherishing. Next is emotional intelligence. When you understand the power of your words, when you know how to build up rather than tear down, you create an environment of trust and comfort. Men are not just looking for someone to understand their words, but their silences too. Support is crucial. Every man dreams, but not every man has someone who believes in those dreams. When you stand as his encourager, his partner, and his friend, he feels empowered. He sees in you not just a companion, but a catalyst for his greatness. Confidence speaks volumes. A woman who knows who she is, who walks boldly in her purpose, ignites admiration in his heart. Your confidence inspires his own. He sees in you the kind of strength that can walk beside him through life's challenges. Kindness is a rare gem in today's world, yet it remains one of the most powerful forces. When you express genuine care and compassion, not just for him, but for others, you reveal a depth of character that makes him fall even harder. Finally, shared vision is a powerful anchor. When your values, goals, and dreams align, It creates a bond that transcends surface level attraction. A man is not just falling for your beauty, he's falling for the vision of life he sees with you. Remember, love is not about forcing someone to fall for you. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts what is meant for you. When you embrace these qualities, not only will he fall harder, but you will also become a beacon of inspiration for the world around you. Being authentic is one of the most powerful attributes a person can embody. It's about being real, genuine, and true to who you are at your core. Authenticity is not about perfection. It's about honesty. Honesty with yourself and with others. When you embrace your authentic self, you are no longer confined by the need to impress, pretend, or conform. You live in alignment with your values, your beliefs, and your true essence. This is a quality that draws people in because it radiates confidence and integrity. A man recognizes authenticity in a woman because it sets her apart in a world filled with facades and pretenses. It is not her ability to fit into a mold that captivates him, but her willingness to stand out as her unique self. When you speak from a place of truth, when your actions align with your words, and when you express your emotions honestly, it creates a space of trust. He doesn't have to guess who you are or what you feel because you are transparent in your communication. Authenticity also comes with vulnerability, and vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength. When you allow yourself to be seen as you are without masks or defenses, it fosters a deep emotional connection. It says to him, I am comfortable with who I am, and I invite you to be the same. This openness disarms him and encourages him to reciprocate, laying the foundation for a relationship built on trust and mutual respect. Moreover, being authentic means staying grounded in your values, even when faced with challenges or temptations to compromise. It means standing firm in your identity and refusing to let external pressures dictate who you should be. This unwavering sense of self is magnetic, drawing him closer and making him value the real, unfiltered version of you. Self-respect is the cornerstone of a woman's strength and dignity. It is the quiet but firm understanding of your worth, your values, and the standards you set for how others treat you. When you possess self-respect, you project an aura that commands admiration, not through arrogance, but through the silent assurance of knowing who you are. It is not something you demand from others. It is something you cultivate within yourself. And in doing so, you naturally inspire others to respect you in return. A woman with self-respect is unshaken by the opinions or judgments of others. She doesn't seek validation from the outside because her confidence comes from within. This confidence is not boastful, but grounded, showing that she values herself enough to walk away from situations or relationships that compromise her principles. When a man sees a woman who prioritizes her self-worth, he cannot help but admire her. It signals to him that she is someone who will not tolerate mistreatment or settle for less than she deserves, which only deepens his respect and admiration for her. Self-respect also manifests in the boundaries you establish. It's the ability to say no when necessary, to guard your energy, and to refuse anything that doesn't align with your values. These boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines to ensure mutual respect. They teach others how to treat you while also teaching you how to honor. A woman with self-respect also takes care of herself mentally, emotionally, and physically, not for the approval of others, but because she values her own well-being. This kind of care reflects her understanding that she is deserving of love, kindness, and the best that life has to offer. It's this level of respect for herself that inspires a man to see her as someone truly exceptional. And emotional intelligence is one of the most profound qualities a woman can possess. It goes beyond intellect and beauty. It touches the heart and mind of those she interacts with. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and respond to emotions, both yours and others, in a way that fosters connection and understanding. It is a quiet strength that creates a space of safety and trust, allowing people to feel seen, heard, and valued. When a woman exhibits emotional intelligence, she becomes attuned to the emotional undercurrents of a conversation or situation. She listens not just to the words spoken, but to the feelings behind them. This depth of understanding allows her to respond with empathy rather than react impulsively. It is not about being overly accommodating, but about creating a balanced and meaningful exchange. A man feels drawn to this quality because it shows maturity, patience, and the ability to navigate complex emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Emotional intelligence also involves self-awareness. A woman who is in touch with her own feelings can articulate them clearly, setting the tone for honest communication. She doesn't suppress her emotions or let them control her, but expresses them in a way that invites understanding and resolution. This self-awareness is paired with the ability to regulate her emotions, even in challenging situations, demonstrating a level of composure that is both admirable and inspiring. Another aspect is her ability to encourage emotional vulnerability in others. A woman with emotional intelligence creates an environment where a man feels comfortable opening up without fear of judgment or rejection. She fosters a connection that is not only intellectual but deeply emotional, building a foundation of trust and intimacy. This depth of emotional understanding and responsiveness makes her stand out, leaving a lasting impression that is impossible to ignore. A supportive nature is one of the most meaningful and impactful qualities a woman can embody. It is the ability to stand beside someone, not as a shadow or a critic, but as a partner who genuinely desires their growth and success. Being supportive doesn't mean losing yourself or neglecting your own needs. It means recognizing that relationships thrive when both individuals uplift and encourage one another. Right? When a woman shows unwavering support for a man's dreams and aspirations, it communicates that she believes in him even when he may doubt himself. This belief fuels his confidence and motivates him to push beyond his limitations. Her encouragement becomes a source of strength, a reminder that he is not alone in his journey. A man feels a deep sense of gratitude for a woman who invests in his potential, not because she expects something in return, but because she genuinely wants to see him succeed. Support also means being present during challenges. It's easy to celebrate someone when things are going well, but true support shines in difficult times. A supportive woman is not afraid to roll up her sleeves and face the storm with him, offering wisdom, comfort, and a listening ear. She doesn't solve his problems for him, but walks alongside him as he works through them, reminding him of his capabilities and the strength they share together. A supportive nature also includes celebrating his victories without envy or competition. She understands that his success does not diminish her own, but adds to the collective strength of their partnership. By being his cheerleader, advisor, and confidant, she creates a bond rooted in trust and mutual respect. This kind of support builds a partnership that feels like a safe haven, a place where he knows he is valued and encouraged to become the best version of himself. Confidence is a magnetic quality that draws people in and leaves a lasting impression. It is not about arrogance or a need for attention, but about carrying yourself with an assuredness that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. Confidence stems from a deep understanding of your worth, your capabilities, and your unique identity. It is the quiet strength that allows you to walk into any situation with poise and clarity, unaffected by the opinions or judgments of others. When a woman exudes confidence, she stands out because she is comfortable in her own skin. She doesn't seek external validation to feel complete, as her sense of value is rooted within. This self-assuredness makes her presence commanding yet approachable. A man is drawn to a confident woman because her energy inspires him to rise to his own potential. Her belief in herself encourages him to believe in her and in the possibilities of a partnership that is equal, strong, and enduring. Confidence also manifests in the way a woman handles challenges. She doesn't shy away from difficulties or allow fear to dictate her choices. Instead, she faces obstacles with determination and grace, showing resilience in the face of adversity. This strength is incredibly attractive, as it demonstrates that she is capable of standing firm even when the world around her feels unstable. A confident woman also knows how to celebrate her achievements without diminishing others. She walks with humility while recognizing her own accomplishments. This balance of pride and grace makes her not only admired, but deeply respected. Her confidence is contagious, creating an environment where those around her feel uplifted and empowered. It is this unshakable belief in herself that leaves a lasting impact, inspiring admiration and deep emotional connection. Healing, kindness is one of the most profound expressions of strength and character. It is more than simply being polite or considerate. It is an intentional act of care and compassion that stems from a genuine desire to uplift others. Kindness requires empathy, the ability to understand and share in someone else's experiences, and the willingness to respond with love and grace, even when it is not convenient or easy. It is this depth of kindness that touches hearts and creates lasting impressions. A kind woman stands out in a world that often celebrates selfishness and indifference. She approaches people with an open heart, offering encouragement and support without expecting anything in return. This selflessness is not a sign of weakness, but of incredible inner strength, as it takes courage to give of yourself when there is no guarantee of reciprocation. A man notices this quality in a woman because it reflects her ability to nurture, inspire, and build meaningful connection. Kindness also shines in moments of difficulty. When faced with conflict or misunderstanding, a kind woman chooses patience over anger, understanding over judgment. This approach not only diffuses tension, but also creates an environment where trust and healing can flourish. Her ability to extend grace, even in challenging situations, reveals the depth of her character and her emotional maturity. Furthermore, kindness is not limited to grand gestures. It is evident in the smallest actions. A warm smile, a thoughtful word, or simply being present when someone needs support. These small acts accumulate, leaving an indelible mark on those who encounter her. A man who experiences this level of care and consideration cannot help but be drawn to her. Kindness speaks directly to the heart, reminding him that he has found someone who values not just him, but the goodness in humanity itself. Shared vision is one of the most powerful elements in a meaningful relationship. It is the alignment of values, dreams, and goals that creates a sense of unity and purpose. When a man and a woman share a vision, they are not merely existing side by side. They are moving forward together, building something greater than themselves. This shared sense of direction strengthens their connection, providing clarity and focus as they navigate life's challenges and celebrate its victories. A woman who possesses a clear vision for her life and is willing to align it with another's demonstrates depth and intentionality. She knows what she wants and understands the importance of partnering with someone who shares similar priorities. This clarity is not about controlling the relationship, but about ensuring that they are walking in the same direction. When a man sees a woman who is committed to building a future rooted in shared values, he recognizes her as someone who is not only trustworthy, but also deeply invested in a meaningful partnership. Having a shared vision doesn't mean agreeing on every detail or never having differences. Instead, it means having a foundation of common principles and a mutual understanding of where the relationship is headed. It's about creating a shared roadmap for life that both individuals are excited to pursue together. This shared purpose fosters a sense of teamwork and collaboration, making it easier to overcome obstacles and stay focused on what truly matters. A woman with a shared vision also brings inspiration and motivation to the relationship. She encourages him to pursue his aspirations while working alongside him to achieve their collective goals. Her willingness to dream big and take action together creates a bond that is not only deeply emotional, but also practical, ensuring the relationship continues to thrive and grow over time. When you embody these 7 qualities, authenticity, self-respect, emotional intelligence, a supportive nature, confidence, kindness, and a shared vision, you become more than just someone to be admired. You become unforgettable. These attributes don't just make a man fall for you, they inspire him to rise, to grow, and to become the best version of himself. The truth is, love built on these foundations is not shallow or fleeting, it is enduring and transformative. You are not just capturing his heart, you are shaping a connection that stands the test of time. Be the woman who elevates, who inspires, and who loves with purpose. When you do, you won't need to chase love. It will find you, hold you, and never let go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you have joined me today. And I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. There is a profound strength in the woman who does not bend to the weight of her circumstances. She is strong because she does not seek validation from others. She finds it within herself. A strong woman knows that the world may challenge her, but it cannot defeat her unless she allows it. She faces the storms of life with resilience, rising each time she falls. This strength is not displayed in loud actions or boasting, but in the quiet endurance she shows when others might give up. It is the strength to continue moving forward when the path is unclear, when others question your decisions, and when your heart feels heavy. She is strong because she remains emotionally resilient. Even in moments of uncertainty, she maintains control over her emotions, never allowing external factors to disrupt her inner peace. This is the power of a woman who understands the depth of her own emotional strength. She is strong because she is independent. She does not wait for permission to live the life she dreams of. She takes ownership of her decisions, walking the path that she knows is right for her, even if others disagree. She is not afraid to stand alone because she knows that sometimes the strength to stand firm comes from within. Until then, our best allies are those who know us the best. He is strong because she leads with compassion, understanding that leadership is not about commanding others, but about inspiring them to reach their highest potential. Her strength lies in her ability to guide others, not through force, but through love and understanding. She is strong because she believes in herself. In a world that often tries to define her worth by standards that don't align with her own truth, she maintains a belief in her abilities. Her confidence is not built on perfection, but on the certainty that she is capable of achieving greatness. She is strong because she embraces vulnerability. While many shy away from showing their true selves, she knows that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength. It is through embracing her vulnerability that she connects with others and reveals her authentic power. Finally, she is strong because she never gives up. She perseveres through life's challenges with unwavering faith in herself. Each setback is a lesson, and each obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger. No matter how many times she faces hardship, she remains steadfast, knowing that her purpose will always propel her forward. Finally, She is strong because God. She is the not walking slowly parent God. A strong woman doesn't just exist. She creates her own destiny. Through her resilience, independence, compassion, self-belief, vulnerability, empathy, and persistence, she reveals to the world that strength is not just about what you do, but who you are at your core. And that, my friends, is the most powerful thing a woman can ever be. Emotional resilience is the ability to remain calm, composed, and focused in the face of adversity. It is a strength that allows you to withstand the storms of life without being completely thrown off course. For a woman with emotional resilience, challenges and setbacks become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Her ability to stay grounded during tough times is rooted in her inner strength and belief that she can navigate through any situation. When life throws unexpected obstacles her way, she does not crumble or succumb to despair. Instead, she finds a way to maintain her peace, keeping her emotions in check without allowing them to control her actions. Resilient women understand that their emotions are valid, but they also know that they must not be ruled by them. They may feel hurt, anger, or frustration, but they do not allow those emotions to dictate their response to life's difficulties. Instead, they process these feelings in a healthy way, recognizing that emotions are temporary and do not define their overall sense of self. This emotional strength is not about suppressing feelings, but about acknowledging them and finding constructive ways to deal with them. Moreover, emotional resilience enables women to bounce back from disappointments and failures with a renewed sense of purpose. Instead of wallowing in defeat, they analyze what went wrong, learn from it, and adapt. Their resilience is built on the knowledge that their current circumstances do not determine their future. This mindset empowers them to continue forward, knowing that each trial is an opportunity for growth, and they possess the mental and emotional tools to overcome any challenge. Independence is the power to make decisions and take actions without relying on others for validation or direction. For a woman who embodies independence, her life is guided by her own values, principles, and goals. She does not wait for permission from the world or others to pursue her dreams. Instead, she confidently charts her own course, trusting in her judgment and capabilities. Independence means standing firm in her beliefs, even when external pressures try to sway her. It is the courage to walk a path that may be different from others, not out of defiance, but out of a deep sense of personal purpose and conviction. An independent woman knows that her worth is not determined by the opinions or approval of others. She does not seek external validation for her choices because she is secure in the knowledge that she has the strength and wisdom to make decisions that align with her true self. This autonomy is not about isolation or rejection of help. Rather, it is about knowing when to seek guidance and when to trust her own intuition. Her independence is also reflected in her ability to take responsibility for her own life. She does not wait for someone else to take charge or solve her problems. Whether it's managing her career, finances, or personal relationships, she steps into each situation with a sense of ownership and accountability. She understands that no one else can live her life for her, and thus she must be proactive in creating the life she desires. And thus, independence, for her, is not merely a trait, but a way of being, one that empowers her to live fully, authentically, and confidently. Compassionate leadership is the ability to guide and influence others with empathy, understanding, and care. A woman who embodies compassionate leadership does not lead through dominance or control, but through kindness and a genuine concern for the well-being of others. She recognizes the value in every individual and understands that true leadership is about empowering those around her She generally believes that by giving each person space and privacy, she shapes and demonstrates the best of who they are and what they want to do. Her leadership style is rooted in listening deeply to others, understanding their challenges, and offering support where needed. She leads not by telling others what to do, but by inspiring them to discover their own strengths and solutions. Once I realized that this was the case, I knew I had to go to her at some point. This form of leadership involves nurturing a sense of community, fostering an environment where collaboration and mutual respect thrive. A compassionate leader knows that the success of a team is not solely measured by productivity or results, but by the growth and development of each person within the team. She is patient, taking the time to mentor and encourage those she leads, recognizing that their success is intrinsically tied to her own. Her compassion extends beyond just words. It is reflected in her actions. She takes the time to understand the unique needs and struggles of those around her, and she is always ready to offer a helping hand, whether it's in the form of advice, encouragement, or practical assistance. A compassionate leader also recognizes when others are struggling and doesn't hesitate to step in to provide support, whether emotionally or practically. She fosters an atmosphere of trust where her team feels safe to express themselves and be vulnerable, knowing they will be met with understanding, not judgment. Through her compassionate leadership, she cultivates an environment where people are motivated not by fear or pressure, but by the genuine desire to contribute and grow together. Unwavering self-belief is the cornerstone of a woman's inner strength. It is the deep-rooted conviction that she is capable of achieving whatever she sets her mind to, regardless of external circumstances or the opinions of others. This belief does not waver in the face of failure, rejection, or adversity. Instead, it grows stronger. A woman with unwavering self-belief understands that she is not defined by her mistakes or setbacks, but by her resilience to rise again, stronger and wiser. She knows that every challenge is an opportunity to prove her ability to overcome, and failure is simply part of the learning process, not a reflection of her worth. Self-belief comes from within. It is not contingent on validation from others or the praise of the world. She does not seek approval or permission to pursue her dreams, for her belief in herself is the driving force that propels her forward. Even in moments of doubt, when the road seems unclear or the journey seems too difficult, her inner conviction remains firm. She draws strength from her past successes, from the lessons learned along the way, and from the unshakable knowledge that she is capable of greatness. This belief in herself extends to all aspects of her life. It shapes the way she makes decisions, faces challenges, and interacts with others. She trusts her instinct, knowing that her intuition has guided her through difficult times before. Her unwavering self-belief is not arrogance, but a deep sense of self-awareness. She recognizes her strengths, embraces her weaknesses, and accepts that her worth is not based on external measures of success, but on the fact that she is inherently valuable, powerful, and deserving of all the success she envisions. Embracing vulnerability is a powerful act of courage, especially for a woman who understands that it is not a weakness, but a strength. It is the willingness to be open, honest, and authentic, even in the face of uncertainty or potential judgment. A woman who embraces vulnerability does not hide behind walls of perfection or pretense. She allows herself to be seen as she truly is, with all her strengths, flaws, and imperfections. This openness creates genuine connections with others, allowing for deeper, more meaningful relationships based on trust and mutual understanding. Rather than fearing vulnerability or seeing it as a risk, she understands that it is essential to her personal growth and emotional well-being. She knows that hiding her true self only leads to emotional isolation, and that embracing vulnerability allows her to experience life fully. Whether it is expressing her emotions, sharing her struggles, or asking for help, she recognizes that vulnerability fosters empathy, not weakness. It enables her to let go of the need for control and perfection, and in doing so, she creates space for healing, growth, and transformation. Vulnerability is also an act of self-acceptance. It means acknowledging that she is not invincible, and that it is okay to ask for support or admit when things are difficult. This willingness to show up as her authentic self without fear of judgment empowers her to live more freely and authentically. It also allows others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of openness and connection. By embracing vulnerability, she releases the burden of pretending to be something she is not, and accepts herself as worthy of love, support, and success, just as she is. Empathy and support for others are hallmarks of a woman who possesses an incredible depth of understanding and care. She has the ability to step into the shoes of those around her, to feel their pain, joy, and struggles as if they were her own. This empathetic nature allows her to connect with others on a profound level, not just by offering words of encouragement, but by truly understanding their experiences. Liberation. She does not judge or criticize, but instead listens with an open heart and an open mind, offering comfort and solace when needed. Her presence alone can provide a sense of reassurance as others feel seen, heard, and valued. Supporting others is not just about offering advice or solutions. It's about being there in the moments when they need someone to lean on. A woman who is supportive recognizes that every person is on their own journey and may need different forms of assistance at various times. Whether it's offering a helping hand, providing guidance, or simply being a sounding board, her support is genuine and unconditional. She knows that sometimes the greatest gift she can offer is just her time and attention, showing up when others need her most. Empathy also enables her to encourage others to rise to their potential. She sees the strengths in others that they might not yet recognize in themselves, and she helps them to discover and nurture those gifts. Her support is not about fixing others, but about empowering them to be their best selves. She celebrates their victories and stands by them through their challenges, knowing that her encouragement can make a lasting impact. Through her empathy and support, she creates a space where others feel safe to grow, to heal, and to become who they were meant to be. Persistence in the face of adversity is a defining characteristic of a woman who refuses to be deterred by life's challenges. It is the unwavering determination to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey may be. She does not allow setbacks to define her or discourage her from her goals. Instead, each challenge becomes a lesson, and each obstacle an opportunity to strengthen her resolve. The road may be long and filled with uncertainties, but her commitment to her vision and purpose remains steadfast. When faced with adversity, she doesn't give up. She digs deeper, finding new ways to adapt and overcome. Her persistence is rooted in a deep belief in her own ability and resilience. She knows that no matter how many times she faces rejection, failure, or hardship, she has the strength to keep going. She doesn't allow temporary setbacks to shake her confidence. Instead, she takes them as signs of growth, learning to adjust her approach and move forward with greater wisdom and clarity. She is not afraid to fall down because she understands that falling is not failure, it's a part of the process of growth. This persistence is also fueled by a strong sense of purpose. She knows why she's pursuing her goals and remains focused on the bigger picture. When things get tough, her commitment to her mission drives her to continue even when the world around her may seem to be falling apart. Her persistence isn't just about achieving success for herself. It's about demonstrating to others that it is possible to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. So, with every step, no matter how small, she reaffirms her strength and her unwavering belief that perseverance will eventually lead to victory. A strong woman is not defined by the absence of challenges, but by her ability to face them head-on with unwavering resolve. She embodies emotional resilience, independence, compassionate leadership, self-belief, vulnerability, empathy, and persistence. These qualities are not mere traits. They are the foundation of her strength and power. She knows that life will test her, but she also knows that every trial is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Wrapping a piece of her mistress' image eviscerated her. But she's strength does not come from avoiding adversity, but from embracing it with courage, knowing that she has everything within her to rise above it. The world needs women like her. Those who lead with love, who stand firm in their beliefs, who never give up, and who lift others as they climb. To be a strong woman is to understand that your power lies in your ability to overcome, to inspire, and to remain true to yourself no matter the circumstances. Your strength is your story, and that story has the power to change the world. Keep standing tall, for the world is waiting for the incredible force of nature that only you can be.